It's the fight of my life.
Hey everyone, this is Violet and I want to share my testimony of victory with you. As some of you may know, last year I received my master's degree in education. Due to the program I was in, I was not able to work, and my only form of income during that period of time was through graphic design, which I did on the side. It had been a year and a half of many sacrifices, and I was excited to finally be done and starting my career at the end of last year. I was able to resume work as a substitute teacher, and I began applying for permanent teaching positions throughout my state. Just as it seemed like things were turning around for me, COVID-19 hit. Because my position at the time was not a permanent position, schools were closed, and I was subsequently out of work. So I immediately applied for unemployment, and I was denied. Also, requests for graphic design during this time came to an immediate halt because events were being canceled. I recently purchased a car, so staying at home doing nothing was not an option for me. So I did the only thing that was available to me, and I started doing Instacart and delivering groceries. This went well for about a month until orders in my area became scarce. So I was back to square one. So I doubled my job search for a permanent teaching position, and I continue to pray for a miracle. I can't even count the number of applications I submitted in the span of a month, and I did not get one reply, not an email, not a phone call, nothing. And that's when doubt began to creep in my mind, and I started to feel myself sink to a low place. I began to think of all the sacrifices I made during my schooling. I never missed a church service. I gave myself to so many areas of ministry. I was faithful in my tithing. And I asked myself if God really heard my prayers. To me, it really felt like I was in the fight of my life, and Goliath was standing in front of me, challenging the God that I serve. It was then that I made the decision to put my confidence in God again, and I changed my line of questioning. I asked myself, is there anything too hard for God? And what battle has God ever lost? Isaiah 59:1 says, his arm is not too short to save you, neither his ear deaf that he can't hear you. So I decided to let God be God and stop trying to fight and figure out things on my own. As our song says, he's fighting for me. And because he's fighting for me, overwhelming victory is mine through Christ who loves me. Once I changed my perspective and allowed God to fight for me, I saw him perform a miracle on my behalf. Last week, I was interviewed and offered a position as a 4th grade teacher. I want to say to you today, there's no Goliath too big for God to overthrow. There is no mountain that is too big for God to move out of your way. See through the eyes of faith. Put your confidence in God. Change your perspective. Hope in God again and see your situation through the lens of faith. If your home is being foreclosed on and you have no other options, by faith, declare this with me. All I see is victory. If the doctor has diagnosed you with an incurable disease or condition, speak to your sickness now and say, all I see is victory. If 2020 is not going the way that you expected it to, still declare today that all I see is victory. Whatever you're faced with right now, tell your situation, all I see is victory. If there's someone out there right now who agrees with me, by faith, comment under this video, all I see is victory. I am believing God with you. I am standing with you in faith, and I cannot wait to hear all the miracles that God performs in your life. God bless.
And we will always win, yeah.